Okay, hey guys, how you doing? My name is Rich Guzman, and welcome to the live. And today we're going to talk about something very important. Actually, we talk about something very important every single time we go to live, right? So today is no exceptions, not any different from any other day. It's all important, right? So now I'm going to have a question for you, and this question is very important for you to understand. Okay, and I want you to really think about this question: are you good enough? Ask your question. Ask yourself that question right now. Are you good enough? Okay. So before we get started with the content, guys, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Also, make sure you click on the notification bell so you don't miss a beat when we go live here on YouTube. Also, my Facebook friends, how are you doing today? Let's take a look at Facebook and see what's happening with this crew over here. Let's see. What we got going on over here? Hey, Sophia, how you doing? Mark and Dana Brown, what's up? George Jolly, what's happening? So we're going to wait a few more minutes, guys, for people to get on the live because now they're starting to come on. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. This content is going to be great today, guys. I'm so excited. All righty. You guys ready? I'm fired up. I am fired. Let me get my little drink on. Canada Dry. All right. So let's see. We got more people hopping on right now as well. Guys, welcome. And guys, you want to share this out because this is going to be enlightening for everybody. Okay. And so let me get started. So usually when I open up with a video, I like to talk about the problems, right? People deal with certain problems and things like that. And I want to just figure out a solution for you guys to really overcome these situations and problems that you deal with and things like that. So my question was in the beginning of this live is are you good enough? Do you feel like you're good enough, right? This is some things. I take a deep breath because, I battled with this, many years back. Okay. This is why I actually acquired coaching, for me, because I was more the quiet one back in the day. Didn't really speak up a lot. Now I'm just like the opposite. I don't really care now. I speak up how I feel. If somebody doesn't like it, move on, right? That's just the way I feel about it. But before I was very shy and I didn't really speak out about how I felt. I thought that if I spoke up, I felt like people wouldn't really listen. Okay. And that was a confidence issue, but that was more of, I didn't feel like I was good enough to get my voice heard. Okay. So I would go along with the masses. I would go along with friends. I would just agree to disagree just to agree so I could avoid friction and confrontation. Okay. Now confrontation doesn't bother me one bit. Right. But these are things that a lot of people deal with on a daily basis when they're trying to find themselves and trying to find who they are. Okay. Now, it's hard sometimes, to believe it, right? That, I am good enough. It's one thing to say that I'm good enough, but to really believe it is another story. Anybody can say, yes, I'm good enough. But when push comes to shove and you met with challenges, you know what I mean? Are you ready for that challenge? Are you stepping up to the plate? When you're ready to step up to the plate and you believe in yourself, that means you're starting to really believe that you are good enough, right? And can you maintain that awareness? Can you maintain that you are good enough as you're going through your journey? Now, that's one thing that I've learned about this journey is that in order to succeed, you have to be good enough. You have to be good enough for yourself. Okay. Self-love is so powerful. And if we were taught that in the very beginning, I think there would be a lot more people coming out of school a lot stronger if they were taught more about self-love and more about themselves instead of everything around the world and everything else that's influencing them to do what they want to do or what they think is right, what they think is wrong. I think that if schools actually invested more in people's, strengths and character and imagination, I believe the world would be a better place, right? Because, we're structured by the government on how to have school, what to study, what you should learn, and what is right and what is wrong, right? So if we focus more on our imagination and focus more on our gifts and our strengths, I think we have a lot more to offer this planet versus trying to offer what somebody thinks is right to offer the planet. Does that make sense? Right? So So when we find out that we're good enough, when we realize, like, you know what, I am good enough. I'm good enough to take on the challenge. I'm good enough to make things happen. I'm good enough to accomplish things and feel really good about myself. Okay. Another question for you. Do you believe, and this is we're going a little bit deeper here. Do you believe that you deserve success? Do you believe that you deserve success? I mean, ask yourself that question and literally think about that question. Don't, you answer it, but just don't answer so quickly. Think about that question because it goes really deep. Do you truly believe that you deserve success? Most people will say, yes, I do, right off the bat. But when it's time to apply what they need to apply, right, to attract success, what happens is something happens along the way. And they get afraid. And then there's a fear that happens, right? And then they start doubting themselves. And they start saying to themselves, wow, it's not what I thought. It's a little bit different. I'm going to have to move on to something else that maybe seems a little bit easier, right? That's saying to yourself that you're not good enough to take on the challenge. That's telling yourself that you're not good enough to make it happen, all right? And these are things that people are going to deal with on a daily basis. And you have to be aware of this. You have to be aware. So if you say that that you believe that you deserve success, then prove it. Don't prove it to me. Don't prove it to Ace. Don't prove it to anybody in the community. Don't prove it to anybody in the world, but prove it to yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It matters what you believe and what you think. Your outcome is determined by your belief and your actions, right? So why do we pay attention to anybody else's actions, anybody else's thoughts? Right? Or for schools telling you to do it this way because it's the right way, right? What makes you think that you don't have a gift that can bring out a lot more? What makes you think that your belief system is not strong enough? What makes you think that you don't deserve success? So you really have to think deep about that question. Do you truly, truly believe that you deserve success? In my opinion, I believe that you deserve success. See, I can say that because I know. But you, however, have to ask that question internally within yourself. Have a conversation with yourself and say, look, hey, say, hey, David, do I deserve success? Look in the mirror. Do I deserve success? And look at your eyes when you're asking that question. Right? I want you guys to do that today. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you believe that you deserve success? And look at your eyes and see if you're being truthful and honest with yourself. Because people they have fear of success. And it all boils down to they don't believe they're good enough. They don't believe that they can accomplish things. They don't believe that they can acquire things. They don't believe they can achieve results and success because someone else is doing it. It seems so far-fetched. But the reality is it's not so far-fetched. You just have to get on the boat. You have to begin the journey, right? Like Jim Rome, set your sail, right? Set your sail and get in that ocean and start setting your sail. That's what you have to do, right? And it all starts with an intention. Right? When you say to yourself, you know what? I believe that I truly deserve success. I'm going to start my sail right now. You look in your eyes, you're confident, you believe in it, and you're ready for action because you want something to change so bad in your life that nothing's going to stop you because that belief is so solidified within you. Okay? You start with that intention and you believe exactly what you're thinking in your mind. Right? Then you begin to realize that you start to appreciate yourself more. You start to appreciate who you are as a human being. You start saying to yourself, hey, David, I appreciate you. Hey, Tina, I appreciate you. Hey, Mark and Dana, I appreciate you. Right? Joel, I appreciate you, Joel. Hey, Norma Jean, I appreciate you. You're a wonderful person. Did you know that? You're amazing for making a decision to do something for yourself for once, right? See what I'm getting at here, guys? Very powerful to connect with you, yourself, all right? I talked about this before about self-awareness, okay? Are you aware of yourself? Most people are not. They live in an internal world, but they don't realize the external, what's around them, okay? And I like to talk about this because when you live in an external world, okay, you're an external world, right? Your reality is just moving all about around you. Some people choose to ignore what's going on around them when that's their reality. You don't want to ignore what's going around you, right? You don't want to live totally internally that you forget about what's going on around you, where the fact is, how are you supposed to, shape your outer world if you don't shape your inner world? So you can't ignore your outer world. So by, going in, right, it shapes your outer world. So how do we know what to change if we're ignoring our outer world? I see people living in a more subconscious way and don't live in a conscious way. And what happens is when they live the subconscious way, it's all automatic. It's all autopilot. It's already done for you. Whether you like it or not, it's being done for you. And the only way to really disrupt that pattern change into a new paradigm is to disrupt the way that you're thinking in the conscious moment, so you can, create new subconscious thoughts. And that becomes autopilot. And then you start doing things automatically that are good things for you, healthy things for you, right? Self-awareness things for you, self-love for you. And that changes the whole spectrum. That changes the whole dynamic. And then you enter a brand new paradigm called success. That success is done by you and only you. It can only be done by you. It can't be done by anybody else. It can't be done by me and Ace. It can't be done by an influence. It can only be done by you. You have the power. You have the ability to make things happen and go against the grain when your mind refuses to adapt. The mind refuses to adapt because it's an old paradigm, old subconscious thought that is keeping you stuck from being aware of your outer world. Your outer world it's happening around you. You have to be aware of what's happening around you to change it. So you go inside to change the outer world. Okay? Very important. And think about this, guys. You have to live with yourself, right? No, you ain't get out of this life alive, right? And you come in alone and you're going out alone. So you have to live with yourself. So what are you doing about that? What are you doing to improve the relationship with yourself? This is how we become really more aware, and we start to realize, like, you know what? I'm starting to realize I am good enough. I'm starting to realize that I can be better. I don't want to be mediocre anymore. I want to tap in. I want to get tuned in, tapped on, and get inside myself and realize what's going on. Why I've been holding back. Why have I been stuck? What have I been afraid of all along? There is no need to fear of the unknown. Fear is nothing but an unknown presence that does not exist. Let me repeat that beautiful word, beautiful line. Fear is nothing more than an unknown presence that doesn't exist. I learned that from my coach. We make up this stuff, right? Remember, you have to live with yourself. You have to live with yourself. Build that relationship with yourself. You have to start from scratch. Start from scratch. Because once you begin to have more self-awareness and more self-love, and you start to really dive in deep within yourself, you start to change. Something happens. Confidence. Attraction. I don't mean attraction as attraction like a relationship. That's part of it. But attraction of manifestation, of certain things that you want to acquire in your life. Because then people start to see a little different side of you they never saw before. And they say, hold on a second. Is this the same person that I knew years ago? I'm the same person, but I'm not the same person from before. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we shift into that new paradigm like Bob Proctor talks about, right? So, and here's a problem when people, they don't feel like they're good enough, right? Because some people just have that problem about, like, I just don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel guilty. Even when I make a sale, I feel guilty. Even when I help somebody else out, I feel guilty. Even when I'm getting results, I feel guilty because someone I care about is not getting results. I feel guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. That's a subconscious reflection of a historical past of what you learned. Okay? And what happens is people start to live with all this regret. They regret. Why did I do this? Why did I do that? when they can start saying to themselves, well, what can I do to create good new thoughts, good new things in my life to create new patterns to enter my subconscious mind? So that way I'm not living with regret anymore. I just kick regret to the curb because that was a reflection of my old paradigm, not my new one. You see what I'm saying? And here's the thing, guys. When you know you need to do something and you don't do it, and this happens to a lot of people, okay? Happens to a lot. You know, you're human, and this is going to happen. There'll be regret. There'll be anger. There'll be pain. There'll be depression and self-doubt. And it's because we know that we have to be responsible for ourselves as an entrepreneur. So what happens is when we don't do the things that we know we're supposed to be doing, and our reflections of our historical past from subconscious mind tells us it's okay. Let's kick the feet up, right, guys? Let's kick the feet up. It's all good, right? And don't do anything because why? Because it feels comfortable and it feels good and it feels accepting. Because it feels very relaxed and comfortable. It's what we know from our old paradigm. Loves to reflect back to the old historical thoughts. However, it's going to cause more regret, more anger, pain, depression, and self-doubt. This is called being addicted to disappointment. And when we get disappointed, that creates a new association in our subconscious mind. And then we get addicted to that same disappointment over and over and over again. And it's sad, but it's true. Enough of this negative stuff. Let's go into some beautiful positive thoughts. How can we solve this problem, right? I gave you some good stuff, but a lot more negative stuff, right? So I was reading an article online and inspired me to do this live. And I'm going to go over a few things to really just enlighten you today, okay, before we end this live. I want you to feel enlightened when this live is over and you start and you finish the rest of your day. If this is morning for you, the way you're starting your day. This afternoon, the way you finish the rest of the day, right? Evening, the rest of your evening, okay? I want you guys to feel good when you walk off this live. So the first thing is, I'm going to tell you something right now. And this is my belief, and this is what I think. The question is, do you believe what I'm about to tell you? Do you believe what I am about to tell you? You better ask yourself that, okay? Let's go over to, I got some dogs barking right now. Get them out of the room, please. Thank you. So now, the first thing is, you are good enough because you were chosen to live. Let me repeat that again. You are good enough because you were chosen to live. All right? Think about that. Whether by God, Buddha, whatever you believe in, your faith, it all matters what you believe in. You tell me. Do you believe that you are good enough because you were chosen to live? I believe that you are good enough because you were chosen to live. You made it here for a reason. And I believe that you were asked to come here. You asked to be here. That's what I believe. Your intention was so strong that you were asked to come here. You asked yourself to be here, and you are here. By an intention. Very powerful. Now, here's another reason why I think you're good enough. Because you have something that no one else has to offer. Think about that. Let me repeat that again. This is deep, guys. You are good enough because you have something no one else has to offer. Every single one of you has a strength, and every single one of you has a weakness. Focus on your strengths. Focus on your power. Okay? You are good enough because you do have something to offer that no one else could offer. And you have to be tuned in and tapped on, and you have to understand, like what I've been talking about, self-awareness and self-love. Remember that. And also, you are good enough because you're allowed to make mistakes. Big ones, small ones. And that's awesome because it gives you a chance to get better. It'd be kind of boring if there was no way to figure out how to get better. Be too easy, right? It wouldn't be exhilarating. It wouldn't be exciting to discover new things, right? So remember, you're good enough because you're allowed to make mistakes. And it's okay. It's okay. And accept it. See, I'm teaching you things, a new paradigm, right? I'm kind of rewiring your brain here a little bit, okay? You're good enough because someone out there loves you. Repeat that again. You are good enough because someone out there loves you. And that is very special. You might not think that all the time, but they do. They do. And more importantly, you're going to discover you're going to love yourself even more and more after this life. Okay? Number 5, you are good enough because you have shown vulnerability that shakes you to your core. See, I love being vulnerable. I love being transparent. I love being honest with every single one of you. We share our story, what we've been through. We let you know transparency. We let you know when you start a business, it's not going to be peaches and rainbow, right? We don't sugarcoat. We share our vulnerability. When our dads passed away, we shared our vulnerability. We want to let you know that we're real and we're down to earth just like you, right? Screw the gurus. It's not about the gurus. It's about you. It's about you. Okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is you are good enough because you let a certain person hurt you in your past. Sounds kind of weird, huh? You're good enough because you let that person that hurts you, right? How are you supposed to learn from a pain if you don't let it happen? How are you supposed to learn from a pain if you don't let it happen? You're good enough because you let it happen. Whole different way of thinking, guys. New paradigm, new awareness that I'm giving you. So when you reflect back, you say to myself, you know, I'll give you a quick story. I was in a relationship for, 4 years. And I went through a depression for a long time afterwards. But you know what? I was good enough to let that happen to me. You know why? Because I learned something so valuable from it. So yeah, it's how you look at things, your perception of how you look at things. You are good enough because you let your emotions consume you at times. Emotions are great. When I told you the other day about connecting your emotions, right, to what you're actually asking for in your life, in success, in business, and everything that you're going after. Connect that emotion to that thought, to the vision that you're creating. You're good enough because that's what you do. You let the emotions connect. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. You're human. Accept it. Love it. Walk in it. Okay? And you're good enough because you watch the sunrise or listen to the wind blowing and be aware in that moment and fully appreciate it. That's called natural beauty. And that's something that we can't create. That's natural. That's natural beauty from nature. You know? It's amazing. It's how you think outside yourself, right? And guys, you are good enough because you may be in a rut right now, but that's just temporary. You are good enough right now because you are in a rut right now, but that's just temporary. Something like that is always temporary. It's never permanent. Okay? So after this live, guys, you tell me right now in the comment section, do you feel like you're good enough? Because I believe that every single person who's watching this live, recorded or live, who's here right now, is going to truly believe after this live that they are good enough. You just need a little bit of awareness and looking at it from a different aspect and open up your mind to a new awareness and a new paradigm. Okay? So, all right, cool. Let me go in the chat here and find out. All right. Let me back up a little bit. Got a lot of comments here. Okay, so Tina says, I didn't want them to think I was dumb, but I know I'm not. I am good enough. Awesome. You're not dumb. You're intelligent. You're a human being. Let's see, Mark and Dana Brown says, wow, Mark and I was talking about how schools teach and don't allow kids to learn in a way that empowers them. There it is. There it is. And more people, Mark and Dana, are becoming more aware of this. That's why you have different kinds of schools now that are being created. Let's see. And this is a paradigm shift. This is a paradigm shift that's happening, guys. And let's see. Joyce Jolly says, I believe I deserve success. Good. Walk in those shoes. Walk in it. Joe says, Rich is the man. No, you are the man. Remember that. You are the man. Tina says, as soon as I learn the computer part, I am going for it. You know what? Not as soon as you learn it. You already learned it. Speak it into existence. You're already there. You just got to go through the journey. David says, hey, Rich, yes, our schools teach an antiquated system, not personal development, creativity. You're right. You know what? You're spot on, David. You're spot on. It is an antiquated system. This is why the United States is falling behind in education. We're not letting the mind expand. And that could be a problem. George says, once I get my finances straightened out with a separate account for business, it's on. Oh, yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. Let's see. And David once again says, your environment is a manifestation of what you think. This is true. But, however, your environment you could actually tweak. And let me just talk by by saying this because of what we've been through in our environment. We were in the worst of environments, living in the worst possible way, and we made it happen. We created our own environment, no matter how bleak it was, outside. Right? We didn't ignore what was going on in our external world, but we went into our inner world and we started recreating our external world. So your environment is a manifestation of what you think. This is true, but think about the environment internally of what could be changed in your environment around you. Okay. Let's see. Joyce says schools need to recognize children's gifts and talents and build on what they on that by having them use those skills and talents. Absolutely. I think that if we let kids use more of their imagination, they can come up with more advanced technology, more advanced things that could be, can benefit mankind. All right. Let's see. Sophia says, true, Rich. Norma Jean says, I am. You got that right. And let's see here. Joyce Jolly says, wow, this is what my video will be on tomorrow. Unstuck. That's right. Do it up. Tina says, fear makes me stronger because I push through the fear. Yes, push through the fear, but be aware the fear is an unknown presence. It doesn't exist. Let's see. George Jolly says, I'm not okay. Well, let's change that. Tina says, I am always do feel good, Rich, after hearing you. Well, I'm glad. That makes me feel really, really good. And I am honored that you said that. George Jolly says, I received that, Rich. I am good enough because I was chosen to live. Absolutely. You're here. Do something. Do something with it. George Jolly says, I have something to offer that no one has. Yeah, absolutely. You do have something to offer that no one has. Everybody here has something to offer that no one has. You know why? Because you're you. There's no other you. You are the only you. Let's see. George Jolly says, good stuff, Rich. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. Tina says, yes, yes, yes. And always will be, or me. Let me get the last word there. Margaret Brown says, I do believe that I've been able to find my true meaning and embrace all I am. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. And hello, Chata. Let's see. William says, I am enough. I need to use pain as leverage toward my inspired vision. There's a way you can use pain as leverage. It'll inspire you to not live the way that you're living right now. However, as you're in that pain, you have to also be careful because you can get stuck in your old paradigm, and you don't want to get stuck in your old paradigm. So just be aware of what's happening if you're using that pain for leverage. Oh, this is a great live. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And look at that, 7:30 right on the dot. Any more comments? Any more questions? Because we're about to wrap this live up. Love it, love it, love it, guys. Love it. I love having conversations with you guys. I love communicating with you. These lives for me, I don't feel like I'm actually doing a live. I feel like I'm just having conversations with you together, right? Bringing your words out and just educating you and helping you become more aware of like a new paradigm shift, right? Love doing this. Okay, all right. Okay, I see no more comments or questions. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by our live today and being here with me today, because every moment that you're here, I'm in full gratitude of this live when we're all together here as a family. And not only that, but Freedom by Design is a family, and we created that to teach people more about awareness, abundance, freedom, marketing, and things like that. Passion. Oh God, I can keep going on and on. Right? So I just want to say thank you very much once again, guys, for being here with me on the live. Also, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to click on the link below. We have an offer for you where you can get started for this first 7 days for free. We can create your own economy and create your own environment so you can start calling the shots and live life on your terms. Okay. And also, guys, here on Facebook, we love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by our live today. And we'll see you on a new live very soon. Enjoy. Go out there and start having conversations with yourself and be aware of the new paradigm that is right directly in front of you, and you can taste it. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're coming from. And I'll see you soon. Bye now.